What's up, fam? It's the podcast live stream. Holly's eating a sausage sandwich.
I'm sorry, I'm still eating.
Just don't eat on mic so people
Oh god,
with misophonia don't.
My mic is having erection problems.
Hey, everyone. If you're new to the live stream, welcome to you most especially. We're going to improvise an episode of the podcast for you. How's everyone doing? Can you hear us okay? Are we coming through loud and clear?
Hold on, I'm changing
How they're changing eyewear. So the way this works is we will improvise an episode based on mostly Patreon suggestions. And we got a bunch of them this week, so thanks for that. We're also in the midst of a little challenge. What's it called? The church fundraise challenge. If we can get 420 people to sign up for the paid Patreon, we're going to do a live stream where Hallie and Gray partake of some of the smoke of the Holy Spirit and see if we can get an episode done. But that's just going to be for Patreon members, so it's a good place to do it. How many people do we have signed up? Let's check. Currently, we are at 397. So we only need a few more.
23 more.
To get to the live stream. I think we should maybe call it live on the High on Christ stream.
What's that thing?
Live stream doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
What was that thing I sent you the way Gabrus says it?
Oh, I don't know.
I gotta look it up. Did you have in your church growing up, did you have one of those when the church would have a capital campaign where they were trying to raise a certain amount of money for a certain thing? They would put that poster on the side of the sanctuary wall where it was like a barometer or a temperature thing, and it would fill up with
the old classic thermometer.
And I would sit in church
Talk
and
in your
stare
mic
at
so
that.
People can hear you.
I remember I was always so bored in church. I remember every brick, piece of wood, everything. I just sat and studied everything. I was like, I'm so bored. And then we would take the offering thing out of the tiny little golf pencil and the offering envelope.
Oh yeah.
And we would play
doodle, and
we would play tic-tac-toe until you figured out that
Hangman.
Whoever goes first can always win if you start in a corner, and so then it never became fun.
Hangman was our go-to.
Hangman.
And also, what a terribly violent word game if you think about the
Hangman. I know.
What's going on with Hangman?
It's a kid word game where you hang someone. Why not put apples on a tree or something?
No kidding. So we got some suggestions, and we'll be doing that once Holly eats her breakfast.
I'm so sorry.
And do you want to just give us top level what some of the suggestions were this week?
Oh yeah. And Elise, yeah. The one time I went to a Catholic church, I was like, this is exhausting. You have to keep standing up and getting down and getting up. But also I was always starving in church. So I loved when we had communion, because our church had really good white bread, Wonder Bread chopped up, and we weren't allowed to have white bread at my house. And so I was like, this is cool. And
doing
grape
communion
juice
with Wonder Bread is pretty funny.
And grape juice, Welch's grape juice. I was always like, this is fucking delicious.
This is what the Lord wants you to be having.
Okay, our suggestions that came over for Patreon are great. We're gonna start brainstorming some Hell House scenes for this year's, because Halloween is coming up.
Okay.
Because maybe we have to keep new, relevant, popular culture scenarios of how to scare the kids.
Okay.
Hallie has to figure out how to make some fake blood. Maybe that's her assignment. Okay. What will Donovan and Gio's fall fit be now that it's getting a little chilly to be wearing Y-fronts?
Okay.
Gray got stuck in an escape room with CMB and Donovan Gio.
Okay.
And he wants the church to put on its own escape room.
We have we had an escape room in the church?
Like that?
No, there was a local escape room, a local Christian escape room, but we haven't had one in the church because I know that I think Climax has been to it. Isn't that right, Elise?
But the church should have one, right?
Elise is, yeah, the church should have one, but somebody here will know if
potlucks. Oh my God. I used to love potlucks because there would be like 4 different kinds of homemade chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, we've had the off-campus Hell House that that Blair Erskine's character ran and then expanded, but then we haven't had one on campus. And I think maybe we'll have there has been an escape room at some point, but we'll mash it up. That's
Y'all
a good idea.
check out Blair Erskine's videos on her social media. She like really trolls the right by playing characters who are like, I am a housewife for JD Vance and I think he's cool. And she like risks her life for these comedy videos. And my hat is off to her. I applaud her. Okay. Hallie's mother-in-law is here for a visit.
Okay, that's great.
And that's a whole thing. So there's a whole bunch of suggestions there about she thinks Hallie should be feeding Lance differently. She doesn't like Hallie. They don't get along.
Okay.
It's great. I don't think she supports a woman working outside the home either, even if it is the ministry.
Great.
So fuck her, man. Hallie's gonna be like, fuck you, MIL. Okay. There's a cacophony happening in the pool, in the Twin Hills pool. It's a Gone to the Dogs pool event where people bring their dogs to the church pool.
Oh, okay.
And then maybe, do you want to address this one where a youth pastor just married an 18-year-old student the day they turned 18?
Sure.
Or is that too?
No, I think we can. Yeah, there was like an idea here from a Climax kid professing love to Gray. Yeah, we can do something with that. That's good.
I mean, has that ever happened?
On the podcast? No, I don't think so.
A kid has never liked Gray.
No.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one. I think it was Elise, I'm not sure, was reading a thread about how restaurant servers think that the church crowd are the worst people on earth. I remember this when I used to serve at Pasta Bravo. Sundays shifts were garbage. But she was saying Christians, the church crowd, are mean and demanding and really bad tippers. I was wondering if Hallie and her brood have an after church place, or maybe one of her many daughters is a server and has stories. Hell yeah. Let's make one of the daughters a server somewhere. I'm trying to think of like the Indiana restaurants. Oh
yeah, that's right. Really long time ago, early on, I did date a former. Early days. But it was. Didn't they just go to Starbucks and do Bible studies or something?
Yes, so inappropriate. Oh my God, Greg, we'd be canceled now.
It Died on the Vine. Died on the Vine is a pretty funny name for a Christian restaurant.
Died on the Vine. Okay, so we'll do a whole
Diet on the Vine.
So there's a whole thing we'll do with that, and then those are all we have. So
okay.
if there are any more you want to throw in,
I love that people remember that. I do not. I vaguely remember that Gray dated one of his former Climax teens, but it was kind of making fun of Holly because she dated one of her high school teachers after when she was in college. Ha ha.
That's true. Sick fucks. Okay. Oh, also in the Patreon, someone remembered that Hallie's daughter did work at Cracker Barrel for one day and then she quit.
Right. Also based on a Holly true story.
I'm so glad you all are helping us remember this at this point. And honestly, when we first started a podcast, I was like, I want so badly for it to become a world that has like rules to it and stuff. And it's so fun.
Okay, great. So let's do this. There is everybody able to get that bingo link and play bingo? Does it work today? I think Virginia is not with us today. Okay, great. So you can play bingo, and you can win a climax pin.
Hell yeah!
And that's that. So, and if you have already won a climax pin, I'll say you can gift it to somebody if you would like, since you don't need multiple climax pins.
And who won the last one?
There's no such thing as multiple climaxes.
Who won 2 weeks ago? Because I don't think I sent one.
We haven't sent it yet, but we got it. It was Megan.
Okay, great. It's still coming.
All right, y'all. Should we do an ep?
Yes, I'm excited to play with you.
Me too.
I gotta stay on my mic. I feel like my mic is.
Why don't you adjust it?
Too far away. I'm
tighten it.
No, it's this. It wants to fall.
Just tighten it.
That one can't go anymore. Oh.
Okay.
Okay, friends. Thanks for being here with us. Very excited.
Just split the frame a little bit more. There we go. All right.
Were there any more thrown in? Are there any other suggestions or no? We'll just play.
I think we'll just play. I think if we'll try to react if we do see some, but sometimes it's hard to read while we improvise, if you know what I mean. Okay, thanks, y'all. Here we go. Make sure I actually record it for posterity. And are we loud enough? That's always my worry.
Test, pop, check. 1, 2, 1, 2, test.
Okay. Hi, Fallon. I love that y'all are listening to this while you're driving or watching this while you're driving.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah. Here we go.
Hiya, I'm Hallie Levant, and this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every single week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel. We love introducing you to members of our church staff, people from our community, and I always find it to be a treat and a treasure. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Please welcome Gray Haas.
What's up, y'all? It's fall, and I'm ready to ball because I heeded his call. Hallie,
wow.
How are you?
Awesome. Too blessed to be stressed. I am so happy to be here with you today, Gray. There's so much to catch up on. So much is happening because you're right. Fall is in the air. The apples are starting to become crisp on the trees. And we're going to start, bobbing for apples and making cider and sitting out on the porch.
I know, but unfortunately, it's about 90 degrees in Indianapolis this week. It doesn't really feel like fall.
Sweltering.
It's really, really warm.
Woo, we're having a late summer burst of heat, huh?
Yes, we are. And, speaking of heat, Hallie, I am just so excited to jump into this episode because we're recording it live on our YouTube live stream, and it's based on people's suggestion from the Patreon. And of course, we are also reminding everyone that if we can get to 420 Patreon members, we're going to have a very special High on Christ live stream. And I think you can put together what that means by the number 420 and the name of it. That's all I'll say about that.
I think 420 sounds like a godly number because it's divisible by 7.
Absolutely.
It's so cool. And, speaking of the heat, we have had so much heat lightning this week. And then we had real lightning, which my son Day said that, did you know he thinks there's no such thing as heat lightning? When you see what you think is just heat lightning way off in the distance, that's just lightning way off in the distance.
What is he? This is the thing. The thing about Day is, yes, he can make all these arguments about he's always sort of nitpicking things, but then it's like he goes, there's no such thing as heat lightning. I'm going, hey, bud, it's happening right there. You can see it. And that's the same way I am about the works of God, where I'm like, they're literally all around you. And you're
Yes.
going, well, maybe this, maybe that. I'm going, hey, the heat lightning is right there.
Yeah.
Tune in, bud.
I don't see it because I believe it. I believe it because I see it. See, that's what I'm telling my kids all the time. And anyway, we had real lightning and it had to close down. We had an adults only lazy river pool party scheduled for this last Friday.
I know,
but
and I guess
because
something
of
weird
the
happened
heat,
with that.
I know, but then that had to get canceled. But luckily, we didn't have to cancel Cacophony, which is our traditional end of season Gone to the Dogs pool event, where we have this awesome Olympic-sized pool right here in Twin Hills, and on these late hot summer nights, we have Cacophony where everybody can bring their dogs to the pool and all the dogs get in the pool and it fills up like when the pool opened up in It's a Wonderful Life and all the teens jumped in. It's like that, but for dogs, and they're barking and paddling. And I had to get all these life vests for my dogs because I got Frenchies and Corgis that just sink like really heavy sausages.
Oh, yeah. Two things about that, Hallie. One is I was confused by It's a Wonderful Life because none of the teenagers look like teenagers. Don't they all look like middle-aged adults?
They really do, but I think it's because of the way they used to wear lace dresses and do their hair in rollers and stuff. It just made him look older.
I know. Jimmy Stewart never looked younger than the age of 42 to me. But then the other thing that I want to mention about the Cacophony Gone to the Dogs pool event is that it did say adults only. And then there were some other people that showed up and they didn't even have dogs. And they kept being like, is this the adults only pool event? And kind of going like, wink, wink. And I was like, who are these people? They were all really tan. And a lot of them had Jimmy Buffett t-shirts on. So I never really understood. We always get a bunch of seekers whenever we
do these cool events.
We say adults only. And I don't know why.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I use something like that, a beautiful church campus, Olympic-sized pool full of yapping dogs splashing around. I use that as an opportunity. People are like, what I'm looking to hear them say is, isn't this adults only? Who wants to hook up? I want to hear them say, this is church.
Right. And a lot of them did say, this is church, because it was like an adults only pool event. This is church. And then, and I'm not sure if you heard about this. No, Allie, but Clay did come over to check it out because, for some reason he thinks Popsicle should get a puppy. And he goes, well, this would be fun to go check out. I'm not going to get a puppy for Popsicle. He can do that. I'm not going to take care of it.
But Clay wanted to see what it would be like to have a dog, so you brought him to Cacophony?
Yeah, he wanted to see what it would be, not only to have a dog, but to have a dog at a church event pool party. And then I just was really confused because, well, this one woman just kept coming over to Clay and saying, well, I've got a couple of puppies. You know what I mean? And she's like, the adult, well, I've got a couple of puppies.
What does...
Wink, wink.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Anyway.
What? Wow. Well, I do think getting Popsicles a puppy is a great idea because they could play together, raise each other, have wholesome fun in the backyard. You could name it Pupsicles.
Right. I don't like the idea of having one more thing around to take care of.
Well, yeah.
Because right now it's just...
You're so busy.
I'm so busy. And I said to Clay, I'm your best friend. I'll be there for you through thick and thin. But right now, I am not signing up to babysit because, Hallie, we've had a lot going on in our personal lives.
Oh, well, I'm
not sure if I've mentioned it before, but my friend Clay Mason Bannerman and I, we had been dating twins. You know this.
Yes, Tiffer and Mickey and Tiff. Are they the same or are they different?
Well,
we still don't know, but now we have Barbie Lou too.
Yeah. Well, they're technically twins, but possibly triplets. And Clay and I just said, maybe it's better if we just take a break. Not really get into this whole double dating thing.
Oh, I was hoping you would marry those girls.
Well, it's still possible, Hallie.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, the twins are really busy right now with their YouTube channel.
Oh.
And wouldn't you know it, Hallie, we told them this. You know, basically we just said, we're going to take a little break. And then guess what happened?
Did they totally lose it and start sobbing and begging for you back?
Actually, we haven't heard back after we sent that.
Oh,
we
really?
We just texted it to them.
Oh.
But
how long ago was that?
It was about a week.
Oh, wow.
And it was on a group text, which is weird. Usually they really get back. But guess what, Hallie?
What?
Guess who Bobby Lou is dating?
Donovan Geo?
Yes.
What?
Bobby Lou is just over at Donovan Geo's house now, and he said it's very serious.
What?
And
is he going to put some pants on?
That's the thing. It is fall, and he should, but it's so hot outside right now, and the only thing he's added to the Y-fronts is suspenders, and he says they're lederhosen for Oktoberfest.
Well, hey,
and I said those are lederhosen. Those are a pair of suspenders that you've attached to a pair of Y-fronts. So now you've got Bobby Lou over there with him.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's just going to suck, Hallie. And I hate to use swear words, but it is going to suck because I just get so bummed out because he's just not positive.
I am so sorry, my friend. I have had this on the top of my prayer list. And, you know, God always answers. Steve gives us the metaphor of a stoplight. You know, God will answer. Every single prayer gets answered with a green, a yellow, or a red. You know, green is a yes, red is a no, and a yellow is a wait. And so I am in a waiting yellow on this Donovan Geo stuff, my friend, because I have really been placing it before God every single morning when I'm in my shower. And it seems like it's getting worse and not better.
Well, I want to get a restraining order.
You should.
But that's the thing is, you know, you can't get a restraining order against a neighbor, apparently.
Is that right? Because they're already 30 feet away.
Yeah, exactly. So he can't. He lives in the radius of the restraining order. And when I talked to, you know, I've got a lot of friends in law enforcement, and when I talked to them, they were like, well, you can't keep the back door open and get a restraining order. And I was like, well, this is Clay's house. They were like, you can't get a restraining order at Clay's house for his neighbor that he lets come in anytime he wants.
It's hard to understand the law. I mean, now that's why you have to get an H&R Block person to even do your taxes for you. You know, you can't. They make tax law, so you can't even understand it.
I know.
Well, I will tell you what, Gray, I really am going to double my prayer efforts. And style tip for Donovan Geo, after Labor Day, guess what? Plaids, argyles, vests, tweeds, things like that.
He'll not do it.
That is what you wear, bud.
The other day he came in and I was like, what are you doing in that? When he had the suspenders attached to the Y-fronts, and he said 24/7, I'm going to heaven. And I was just like,
a new
what?
Catchphrase.
Yeah. And I was like, that's not even a catchphrase.
It's not even a catchphrase.
Stupid.
Oh my God.
He's so dumb, Hallie. It really tests. I guess sometimes I wonder, and I've prayed about this because I know that it's Christian to welcome your neighbor and to love everyone. But sometimes, Hallie, I ask for a buy. And I go, can I hate one person? And I've prayed about this, and I've gotten on my knees, and I've asked Clay to be like, can we just tag team this guy on when it comes to getting a restraining order and keeping him out of our lives? Clay's not into it.
Wow. Well, you're a wise man, and I think you're on the right track. And at least this new catchphrase has heaven in it. Because at least then he's shouting the name heaven and not saying cowboy butts drive me nuts and some such.
He thinks that anything you say in that
tone is a catchphrase.
When you come in a room is a catchphrase. And I was like, no, it's not. It's like when I came up with the catchphrase, the bomb. I was like, oh, that's the bomb. Cool. And everybody started saying that.
I got one of my daughters. Every time she comes in the door home or comes into the room, she goes, "Weather."
Oh, what daughter?
Every single time. The one who's been crushing LaCroix cans on her forehead.
Why does she do that?
Keeps going, "Weather."
Why does she
That's
do
her
that?
new catchphrase. What's that?
What is that?
I don't know. And she's always got her best friend Brandy with her. They're always playing tickle fights and all that. And I'm like, good, at least if my daughter is hanging out with this, highly, feminine, she looks like Barbie. I've said it before. She's a beautiful girl. She has long blonde hair down to her waist. She always has on a red lip. She wears a liquid black line on her top lid with these beautiful piercing blue eyes. So
good. I almost thought you said with these beautiful piercings, because a lot of teens in climax right now are getting those face piercings. Have you seen that?
Oh no,
it's
grieves
just
the heart
so
of God.
Gross. And I'm like, guys, hey, how are you going to get into? How are you going to get through the metal detectors in heaven with that?
Well, when we have new perfect bodies in heaven, will you keep your tattoos from Earth or no? I have never.
Well, if they're good,
the answer to that.
But not if they stink.
Okay, because do you have any, Gray?
Oh yeah, I've got a few.
Oh wow, cool.
Remember, I've got Job on one hand and hands on the other, because it says Job's hands, except I have to do them like this.
Hands, Job's.
No, Job. I know, but it reads Job's hands to me. But it's small. And then I've got an ichthus, I've got some Aramaic
awesome.
around my where I've got some Aramaic in different places. I've got the Chinese symbol for water on I've got the Chinese symbol for water on the kind of lower part of my back. That one I might give up when I get to heaven. I'm not sure.
I also wanted to tell you, I love that that silver thumb ring you wear that's all Hebrew Hebrew text that says, I am my beloved's and she is mine. And that you're wearing that to give to your future wife as her wedding ring.
I know. And I've given it actually to every lady that I've dated. I've actually given it to, but then I've had to ask for it back. But
what about your girlfriend who got bit by a shark? What if the shark had eaten your Hebrew beloved ring?
This was the only thing they recovered.
Oh my goodness. Well, that is a God thing.
Only thing they recovered.
That's a God thing.
I know.
That is a God thing.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Minka. Was it Minka? Yeah. R.I.P. Minka.
Minka. Wow. I mean, there have been a lot of gals through the years really trying to get, a godly man and to become your missus, to get the MRS degree.
Well, that came up the other day, Hallie, actually, when one of my, I got an email and I brought it today and I can go ahead and read it to you. It said, cool. Dear Gray, you may not remember me, but a couple of years ago, I came to Climax for a few months over the summer and I confessed my undying love for you before I left. Oh. And you stared blankly for a moment before saying, you're too young.
Oh, good. Wow. See, look at you right off the bat. You do the exact right thing.
See, I don't even remember this, Hallie, but I just read this person, had also mentioned that a youth pastor had married one of their pupils the moment they turned 18.
Oh, that's right.
That's fine.
And, if you're married, it is God sanctioned, the bedroom stuff too.
Well, God does put, God has a plan that we don't understand always.
Isn't that right?
And I have heard of people that, were obviously in one relationship and then after they turned 18, it's a totally different relationship, isn't it, Hallie?
I want that to be my catchphrase. God has a plan. You don't understand.
I don't think that works. But so anyway, I got this email and this person reached out to me and here's the thing, Hallie. Just to address the elephant in the room. I don't even remember this teen because this happens all the time. I just, if I had $1 for every teen in Climax that had a crush on me and has said things like this.
Oh, really?
I would have,
I'm sure
I would have like, at least $48. And so it's just like, but so what I say to them is just like, look, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand yet. And I'm glad that I've modeled for you what a positive Christian relationship could look like. Now go out there and find someone who looks exactly like me and acts like me, is what I say.
See, I wish you could put that in a booklet and we could give it to all men to say, because that's it right there in a nutshell.
Right.
You nailed it. That is how a godly man sees the world. And you know what? You don't even see it as temptation.
No.
Obviously, because you're ministering to these kids. I bet it's like a Florence Nightingale effect kind of thing, to be honest, but spiritual, where they get like a spiritual crush on you because they're like, look at this incredibly handsome, God-fearing man.
Yes.
Who gets it right and who I'm safe with. And so I can let my guard down. Uh-oh, what's that? I have some feelings for him. Oh my goodness, I think I'm in love with him. Well, that is the way we should be feeling about Jesus, really. And you're a conduit pointing them towards Jesus. So it's going to sometimes get a little misdirected or be a tad askew.
Something too, Hallie, that I've thought about in regard to this, sometimes, and you hear about this a lot, that when a church leader or a pastor is counseling someone, a lot of times those people will fall in love with the pastor because they're offering them such intimate spiritual guidance.
Yep.
And, sometimes those even turn out to be great relationships after, the person has gotten through whatever they need to go through. But, it does happen.
Yeah.
And it needs to happen at the right time, and it has to happen in God's time. And that's different.
I think it happens all the time. But here is what, the artists try to do with that story. Somebody comes along like Tennessee Williams or whoever it was.
I don't know who that is.
Who who wrote the play about the Scarlet Letter, the book about the Scarlet Letter, where a pastor gets a gal pregnant when she comes for counseling. And you know what? We don't need art like that in the world.
No.
You know what I mean? Because that's not what happens. Maybe a woman comes to get counseling from the pastor because guess what? It's free. And you do that on a streaming thing or in person with a real therapist, you're going to be out $350 an hour.
Right.
So a woman comes, guess what? She's probably already pregnant.
Oh, okay.
And then she just wants to put that Scarlet S on the pastor. You know what I mean?
Scarlet S? It was an S?
What was it that was on her? An A?
I don't know.
An S. It was a red S they put on her. She had to wear these long robes like she was in Handmaid's Tale or something.
Okay.
And then they put a big red S on her.
I think it was
like a Superman S for sin or something.
Yeah. Or sex.
She was a sinner or sexual inclinations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be B. There's a bun in this oven.
Should be an L.
And who wrote Scarlet Letter?
Definitely. It was the same guy that wrote Moby Dick, wasn't it?
Yes, exactly. And honestly, Moby Dick, that's a book about a whale. Why do you have to put a dirty word in the title?
Exactly.
Just say big whale. Don't make us think of a dirty thing. Don't say a dirty word.
I think the letter was Elfalooza, or loose woman. So anyway, Ellie.
Well, you did the right thing, and I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. And before I forget, I wanted to ask you because my husband Lance Labat and I have a standing date every single Friday. We go to Don Protini's and we bear down Chicago Bears on some protein and have a wonderful time. Guess who was at the host stand, working the hostess stand at Don Protini's?
Who, Hallie?
Barbie Lou.
What?
Barbie Lou is a hostess right now at Don Protini's. And so I said, wow, well, I'm going to keep my eye out for Tiffer and Mickey, see if my friends' gals are around here. And but now I'm worried if you say Donovan Geo is getting real serious with Barbie Lou, that means Donovan Geo is going to be, bellied up to the bar at Don Protini's, holding forth and screaming catchphrases while we're all just trying to get some protein.
As far as I can tell, he doesn't leave his house, especially now that he's built a what are they called? A go-kart track in the backyard.
Is that right?
Yeah, all he wants to do is race go-karts.
Well, I don't know if he'd be allowed because, the door of restaurants and gas stations always say no shirt, no shoes, no service. But Donovan Geo's doing a loophole because he has on a shirt and shoes.
Right.
So if he goes into these public places, he's friggin' he's found a loophole. He walking around in his underpants.
I know.
We got to make more signs for the doors that say "put on some pants."
I know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
And
I'm really gonna have to read some Psalms, whoo, to calm my heartbeat and my blood
because
pressure.
we know who wrote the Bible, and that's all that matters, isn't it, Hallie?
Every word was God breathed.
Every single word.
And
it's really, really great.
Yeah. So, my daughter has been serving all summer long, and she's going to keep her job into the fall. And she's been saying that Christians, churchgoers on Sundays, when she has a Sunday shift, are the worst people. They're mean, they're demanding, they're
Really?
bad tippers. And
Really?
the church crowd. And I was like, I'm not a
No.
bad tipper, and I am very, very, very kind to servers. I mean, I witness to them almost every time I have a server, I witness to them. I mean, what is more loving than that? I care about your eternal soul forever.
Well, something I've started doing, Hallie, is you know how now they just give you the pad, they flip it around at most places, and it says 10, 15, 20% or whatever, or put in your own. You know what I do is I go before I put that in, I say, are you saved? Do you have a church family? Do you know Jesus? If the person says no, they get 10%.
Awesome.
And it's just a great reminder to be like, hey, maybe this is something you should look into, cool. Because guess what? You'll be rewarded in heaven. You'll also be rewarded after you give me my Starbucks.
Yeah.
So that is a good way just to convert and actually get people thinking about Jesus if they don't know him yet.
That is awesome. And I have a regular besides I have lunch at least once a week at Macaroni Grill.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite restaurants.
Oh, I love that place.
But we have a family tradition. The Labont House has a family tradition on Saturdays that we all go to Old Country Buffet, and we go to town. The kids can do the ice cream machine. They got a soft serve there. They got a toppings bar.
And that, I love the name, Old Country. It's kind of like the way things used to be, right?
Back when things were great.
Yep.
And so one of my daughters started serving tables there, which really is more like bussing tables, because I think everyone there is a busser. Yeah, but they're called servers, and they're called sometimes she's a greeter.
Okay.
But that's our regular spot. So now it's fun when we go and she's working, she'll slip us some, extra. She'll you have to use the same plate. If you go back a second time to the salad bar, to the hot bar, to the wings bar, whatever, she'll slip us clean plates all the time.
Oh, that's fun.
And I'm always trying to just get more garlic cheese bread. A lot of times they'll only have the garlic bread. My daughter will go in the back, melt some cheese on it for me. That's my
fun.
favorite.
Oh, so she takes your salad bar plate and then takes it to the back and melts cheese on it?
Yes, it is.
On your salad?
It's decadent. Yeah, which makes the salad a lot better if you ask me.
Really?
But you still get credit for eating the salad, which is good. So
why have you been going to Old Country Buffet if not just to get melted cheese on a salad?
Well, right now I'm going sometimes twice a week, Old Country Buffet, because I'm trying to get the family out of the house, because I got my mother-in-law staying right now.
Oh.
She said that she's,
Pat's in town.
Pat's in town.
Pat's in town.
So
Pat's in town.
She took over my Lexus. She's driving that around with my Ichthus decal on the back.
I didn't think you let anybody drive that.
I don't. She doesn't even ask. She demands it. She takes my keys and my garage door opener. And so now I have to drive Lance Labont's Tahoe.
Okay.
And then Lance Labont, he drives the Brat.
So her husband's dead, right?
That's right. And you know what, Gray? It's on the top of my prayer list, but I just don't think I really enjoy a close relationship with my mother-in-law. Lance's mom has always been rather disapproving of me, doesn't think that I feed him well. And when she comes, she wants to take over all the cooking and do all the cooking for him.
Right.
She doesn't believe that he has alpha gal. She doesn't believe it's even a thing. She doesn't believe gluten's a thing. She doesn't believe autism's a thing. She doesn't believe any of it. She's like, you're all making everything up.
You can believe, this is the thing. It's just so, goes right back. It's like, it's right before your very eyes, Pat. If he eats the meat, then he's gonna whatever. What does happen when he eats the meat, Hallie?
Oh, he swells up like a tick, like the one who bit him. And she comes into town declaring that she's got to make her summer roast.
Summer roast? Who makes a roast in the summer?
It's her annual summer roast, and she insists on doing it. Has to have the oven at 500 to get this bird going. Who wants to have a roast in the middle of summertime? She does put some nice, cool side salads, things on the side. A coleslaw is good in the summer. She makes a watermelon salad with feta. I really like that. That's good. She does a cold green bean salad with some balsamic and tomato and stuff. I don't know how to use balsamic and oil and all that stuff. In my tradition, if it's not soaked in mayo, it's not a salad. Chop up a bunch of fruit, throw in a can of mandarin oranges, put a few globs of mayonnaise on it, stirred up fruit salad.
That's a salad, right?
Yeah. So she's coming in doing all this fancy stuff, takes over the kitchen. So I just go to Old Country Buffet. I just got to get out of the house. And since I'm driving the Tahoe, I can fit all the kids in.
So why does she? So she wants to make a summer roast and feed it to Lance, but Lance could literally die if he eats it. So what's the solution?
Well, I don't know if there's some kind of like mother-son apron string magic happening, but all I think she did was put some meat and ketchup in a crock pot, and for some reason she's prayed some sort of hedge of protection around it, and Lance says he can eat it and he's fine, and so far he is. So fine.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Meanwhile, I'm still giving my corgis and my Frenchies breaded catfish because I can't get rid of it. I still have a whole freezer in the garage full of it.
How long is she here for?
Oh man, she's been here for 2 weeks, and she keeps saying I'm leaving.
Fish and family, Hallie.
Oh, I know, but she keeps saying.
I mean, I'm saying fish and family is what you're feeding your family.
Yeah, fish and family for days on end.
Yeah.
And she keeps saying I'm going to leave midweek, and then a midweek comes and goes again, and I'm like, which midweek?
Exactly.
So I got my own little Donovan Geo problem going over on in the Labont household, and I covet your prayers.
Oh, well, I will pray for you, Hallie, because I know what it's like to have, someone show up that is unannounced and not really needed. And it's a challenge, isn't it?
I feel trapped. Well, what am I to say? I know you just recently got stuck in a escape room, so I don't want to trigger you if you're still upset about that.
We didn't get stuck.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you got trapped in there and the fire department had to come.
No, it was I was trying to teach a bit of a lesson, Hallie.
Was it who you did an escape room with CMB and Popsicles?
CMB, Popsicles, and wouldn't you know it, Donovan Geo. It's the
what?
Only place
you got into an escape room with Donovan Vio?
Yeah, that we did. And it's a proof of concept that it's not a full-time thing. I was just trying to, have an escape room company, Christian escape room company that comes into the church, wanted to hire them for our fall festival. And it's called the Upper Room. And it's really, you basically are in the upper room where Jesus gathered with the apostles. And, they were all blessed with, obviously at that time on Pentecost, tongues of fire and things like that. And the whole twist of it is, guess what?
What?
It's right after all that's happened and the door is locked and you can't get out of the upper room. And so there's all these fun clues, great biblical, that you have to go through the Bible. You have to find different keys to unlock the door. And then, there was a clue hidden in some unleavened bread and things like that. But here's the thing, Hallie. I wanted to teach Donovan a lesson because he came in thinking he knows everything. And guess what? He's not very smart. And he kept saying like, oh, this is how you do it. And this is where you go. And this is what you do. Guess what? None of it worked. And the hours ticked by, Hallie. And Popsicles was saying, I'm hungry. And I'm going, Maybe talk to these two. Maybe these two can help you. And I just wouldn't do it, Hallie. So yeah, I did eventually let the fire department come and open the door because I wasn't going to show them how to do it because I'm so sick of his crud. He just sucks.
So did it end up being a fun? Did you have fun?
I mean, it was fun. Yeah, it was fun for me because I got to teach a lesson. And it's kind of like a lot of times when I'm with my teens who come to Climax, I'm going, yep, this might not be fun at the moment for you because I'm trying to teach a lesson.
Well, I know in our suggestion box at Twin Hills, there is a lot of overwhelming calls for a escape room here on campus. And I think it would be an awesome opportunity to give it cool themes that have lessons inside of them, things that people can experience, the emotional experience of feeling spiritually trapped, It just feels like it's ripe with sermon illustrations
it is,
and metaphors.
But then you have to take in the other side of that, Hallie, when it comes to running a youth ministry. You don't want a room that you're going to leave teens locked in, unattended, that you can't also get into. Do you know what I mean? Because the next thing you know, they're going to be in there, listening to Chapel Roan and fingering.
Oh, it grieves the heart of God. Oh my goodness. Don't even. Whew. Well, before we go, you and I are responsible for brainstorming some of the Hell House scenes for this year's Harvest Festival. And I always get so excited thinking of new relevant ways to, imagine hell, frankly, because I'm not exactly sure what Lucifer has cooked up down there for, the unfortunate souls that are headed that way. But, every fall we get to kind of reimagine it.
I know. And right now, unfortunately, I'm just not in my most creative brain. Usually I'm, just down to collab with the Holy Spirit on whatever he is trying to serve up. But right now, the only image of hell that I could conjure is kind of like a big backyard with a go-kart track and a bunch of little demons hopping around in suspenders and Y-fronts. That's it. Is that the out?
That felt like a blow to me.
Did anybody win? The bingo?
Win bingo? I got to go back and read all these. Was someone in here unclear on what exactly this is?
Maybe.
It seemed like maybe there were some visitors. I peeked a couple times.
Oh my gosh, that was
Escape from the Holy Ghost.
Y'all, that was so fun. Thanks for those suggestions. And thank you to the new people, if we had some new people in. And sorry if you fell into a satire trap of us never saying Nathaniel Hawthorne, which we would, of course, never say. This is, we had some people with one. Oh, Jody got bingo. Heck yeah.
Oh.
Jody, drop me a message in the Discord or at the Mega email, and we'll send you a pin.
Thank you for the great suggestions. It was super fun to play.
Just to remind everybody, if we get to 420 on Patreon, we're going to do a special La Hive high stream. It will be a private link just for Patreon folks. And you can watch us get baked and try to improvise, but who knows what will happen.
As Hallie and Gray, I think, is the request. So
as Hallie and Gray, I think, yeah.
So Hallie,
I don't think our characters would say we're high. We should just try to, or you know what I mean.
But one of two things could happen for me if I get like really genuinely blazed, is that I could become very quiet. Or I will be like exceedingly talkative, like annoyingly talking too much. Like Gray will have to be like, shut the hell up and butt in.
We'll see.
Greg's like, no shit. That's what every evening is like with you.
The other thing, we had a great episode drop today. Brian Jack is back on the podcast. So go head over there and check it out. It's a update on all the Christian music festivals that happened this summer and all the bad things that went wrong. Thanks for people who joined for the very first time. We're so hot here in LA, so we're going to go jump in the pool. You can find out all about Mega in the links. And thanks. This is maybe one of our best live streams in terms of folks tuning in. We really getting mega with high. Oh, that's better, easier to say than La Hive stream.
Getting mega with high. Yeah.
Kraz, coming in at the very end.
Hey, Kraz.
Very unlike you.
Aw, and you're looking forward to Sundays again for the first time? Aw, me too. I agree.
Yeah, we're going to try to live stream like 3 Sundays a month, usually at this time.
We'll be back next week, same time, right?
Yep.
Next week, same time.
So set a reminder. That's a good way to set a reminder on the Mega channel when we go live. It'll let you know. And
happy Sunday. Have a great rest of your day. I hope it's restful and carefree.
Heck yeah. Thanks, everyone. Love you.
Love you all.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Wait,